Good morning, church family. How are you?
Great.
Amen. We're celebrating 86 years. We continue in this journey, the fruit of our labor. And before we get into our lesson, I have a little funny for you. A frustrated husband asked his wife, "If I won the lottery, what would you do?" And the wife said, "I'll take my half and I will leave." And the husband said, "Well, good. I hit for $20. Here's your team." Here's your 10 and I'll get your suitcase. Over 86 years ago, the idea of Eastside Church of Religious Science was born. Thanks to the labor of the late Dr. Arthur Twine and a small but devoted group of worshipers who gathered at Dr. Twine's house. When more space was needed, they moved to the People's Mortuary on Central Avenue in 1945. And then we became the third church of religious science, where we received our charter from Dr. Ernest Holmes. Following that, we became Los Angeles Third Church. After Dr. Twine made his transition in 1946, several ministers and practitioners stepped up to ensure we would reap the fruit of their labor. Dr. Palmer, Reverend Paul Wright, Reverend Timothy Armstrong, and Reverend Domaz, and a few others in between that. Following them was our Dr. Ronnie Jones, the longest standing pastor of Los Angeles Third Church. For over 25 years, Dr. Ron served, and after 25 years, handed the torch to the first female pastor of Los Angeles. Los Angeles Third Church for Spiritual Living. As we continue to teach through the means of the religious science method, which assists in opening up the secrets of true successful living. The working of anything and everything is a science. It's amazing to me how people give religion, how people don't give religion pause, but they give science pause. Anything, the working of anything and everything is a science. The clothes we have on, the glasses we wear, the chairs we sit in, the podiums we speak behind, is a science. We need to know how anything and everything works in order to use it properly. Religion and science go hand in hand. And this is what this teaching is. We're learning to use what God has given us, our minds, our hearts, and our souls to use properly for successful living. The awareness that we live in a spiritual universe ruled by a creative intelligence which operates in a pattern of law and love. The fact that there is a power in the universe greater than the human, and we can use this power for unending blessings. We are able in this teaching to realize that spiritual laws respond to our thinking, whether positive or not so positive. This power made you, and it made me in its image, with dominion and choice, set us free to make life our own story. This teaching details our relationship with the infinite source, how it operates, and how we direct it. For we use mind to tap into the spiritual reservoir of the true meaning of life. Let us learn to master the most important possession we have, our power of thought, the fruit of life. In the law of attraction, in our textbook, chapter 18, Ernest Holmes reminds us, thought will attract to us what we first mentally embody, that which has become a part of our inner understanding. Every person is surrounded by a thought atmosphere. This mental atmosphere is a direct result of each person's conscious and unconscious thought. therefore becoming the direct reason for that shows up in your lives. Let us be clear. Like attracts like. As we think, so are we. What we sow in the soil of universal mind, we shall reap. A cause always has an effect. When we ask, affirm, pray for an experience or an outcome, one should prepare to receive. If one asks for success but prepares for failure, meaning thinking of all the reasons why it won't work, one will receive what one has prepared for. An example given by metaphysician Florence Scovel-Shinn. A client came to her for a spiritual mind treatment concerning about a debt that was due. He asked her to speak a word to wipe out this debt. She spoke that word, but all the while, the client found himself planning for what he would say to the collector when he did not pay his bill, thereby neutralizing the word that was spoken on his behalf. And we are guilty, in some cases, of this very same conscious behavior, therefore unconsciously purchasing rotten fruit. We look for the most perfect-looking fruit when we're in the store or the farmer's market. We would not consciously purchase any rotten fruit. So why purchase rotten, poisonous thoughts and beliefs? Consciousness.
I know that.
When we talk about fruit, we may automatically think about fruit. But remember, there is fruit inside of you that God has placed there. And the good thing about fruit is there's seeds in most of them. And those seeds mean there's always a continuous means of support and supply. But what we do with our thoughts and our thinking is we cover up this fruit that God has placed within us with regret. We cover up the fruit that's within us with worry. We cover up the fruit that God has placed within us with fear and doubt, judging, criticizing, blame, guilt. We cover up the fruit that God has given us with disease and sickness, with poverty consciousness. We cover up this fruit that's within us with anger and frustration. We cover up this fruit with depression. We cover up this fruit with jealousy and envy. That God has placed within you is fresh fruit waiting to be picked with our consciousness by us. Let us release this envy and jealousy, this depression, fear, doubt, worry, poverty, consciousness, disease, sickness, criticizing, guilt, blame, judgment, doubt. Let us release regret and worry and reveal the fruit that God has placed. There is something special within each person. There is no one in the world like you. Let the Spirit of God reveal itself through you. We are referring to the substance when we talk about fruit. We are talking about spiritual, metaphysical, a deep understanding. The harvest, the blessings, the effects, the demonstrations of planting, knowing, and doing. We are referring to the substance that comes from action, be it mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual labor. We have three departments of mind. Our conscious mind refers to as the mortal or the carnal mind, error thinking, seeing only by appearances. It is the human who sees disaster, death, sickness, poverty, lack, limitation. One who complains about rotten fruit when fresh fruit is waiting to be picked. This human frailty impresses upon the next department in our consciousness, which is the subconscious mind. This mental power acts without direction, only does what it is directed to do. That means what we're thinking feeds our conscious mind, our subconscious mind. That is the memory bank who we are. Everything that's been told to you and everything that's happened to you is stored. That's why it's so important to do your prayer work before you start your day and do your prayer work when you lay your head down. Clean out that no longer belongs to you. Yeah. The subconscious department is the memory bank of all our beliefs and experiences, what we feel deeply about and what we image clearly. It is waiting for us to give it direction. Do we continue to house unwanted thoughts, who we invited as our guests? Or do we give them their eviction notice, that we may rise and entertain the third department of our mental capacity, our superconsciousness? That's the God mind within each human being. This superconsciousness is the realm of perfect ideas. That's the mental labor is most important to do, as our master teachers do and instructed us to do. Look beyond appearances. If Dr. Ronnie would have looked at the numbers when he took over this church, it was only about 10 of us on 48th and Main. And if it rained, it was about 5 or 6. But if he looked at the appearance, we would not be here today. Our charge as spiritual beings, just having human experiences, is to know that there is supply for every demand. We are to prepare for the thing prayed, affirmed, and asked for, even when there isn't the slightest sign of it, because that's our faith then kicking in. We are God's valuable treasure chest. So what will be found when we open our true selves and surrender the little I to the grand I, our oneness with God? In the treasure chest of our beingness will we find a peaceful state of mind, a consciousness of health, wealth, success, prosperity in all areas of life. Can we agree with 2 Corinthians 4:18 to not fix our eyes on the things that are seen, for they are temporary, but with what is unseen, for it is eternal, the power of all of our good. Reverend Paul is reading this book by Emily Caddy, and it's called Lessons in Truth. And she says this, she backs up 2 Corinthians with this quote: there is no absence of life, substance, or intelligence anywhere. That means all of the wisdom for us to know a thing is right within us. God's supply of all kinds is already available to each of us. Are you asking, believing? Everything is available to the one willing to dare to believe that all things are possible. That in reality, God is forever in process of movement within us. That our God may manifest itself, all good, more fully through us. Our affirming and trusting, backed by our faith, is the link that connects our conscious human need with God's power and supply. And then Galatians 5:22 through 23, for the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now, some of these may be a little bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Sometimes to be patient, it takes your willingness to be just that. God gives us everything that we need, and all we need to do is affirm that I am patient through this season, through this situation. I am patient with this person or that person. Sow the seeds of hard work, determination, and endurance, that we shall reap the rewards of achievements, success, and fulfillment. The one on top of the mountain did not fall there, they had to climb. If we have a need, we need to sow a seed. We live, move, and have our being in God. And through that power, we have the ability to manifest the perfection of spirit in mind, body, and environment. Eckhart says that we plant in the soil of contemplation, we shall reap in the harvest of action. When we strive and attain that higher state of consciousness, we then challenge those old, outdated beliefs that have bound us way too long. We challenge them to flee. Empty out those thoughts that are not serving your highest good. See, the fruit of our labor, our effort, the harvest that comes from sowing, the blessings that come are from that which we have given, is but the law of life doing its part. Malcolm Forbes quotes this: diamonds are nothing more than chunks of coal that stuck to their jobs. So that means that anything that you desire, if you stay on the path of belief, faith, and trust in an invisible power, that power moves, goes to work on your behalf. God set it up that way. Our total participation is required for what is to show up as our experiences. Our fruit, our treasure, houses that is within. Look there for your heart's desire. The great secrets that the masters have taught is the ability to release the powers of the superconsciousness into our conscious mind, our subconscious, our atmosphere, our life, our affairs, our relationships, and so on and so on. To remember, every thought is a cause and every condition is an effect. The fruit of our labor is predicated on the labor we invest. To expect something when willing to do nothing is delusional. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. The only time that fruit comes before labor and success comes before work is in the dictionary. We are like captains navigating the ship of our lives. We must give the orders, positive orders preferably, thoughts and images to the subconscious, which governs and controls all our experiences. Monitor the conversations you have with yourself, such as I can't afford, I can't do, I don't have. That's purchasing rotten fruit. Our subconscious, our inner holding vessel, takes us at our word and sees to it that you get what you ordered. The law of life is the law of belief. Ernest Holmes says a belief is a thought in our mind. Belief in the power of the subconscious to heal, to inspire, to strengthen, and to prosper. When we change our thoughts, we change our destiny. The fruits of our labor, the sowing of our seeds, the thoughts sitting on the seat of your consciousness, it feeds your experiences and your life. Dietrich has a song. It's called Don't Want to Let You Go. And some of the words are, there comes a point in your life when you have to come to grips with yourself and say, just like Jacob, that I won't let go until you bless my soul. Now, it took some time to get to a place in your life. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to allow God's presence to come in and leave without a blessing. And leave without a new anointing. So I'll just stay right here in your arms forever. As the seasons and the days go by, I'll just stay right here. For in your presence there is fullness of joy. In your presence there is fullness of joy. I feel so secure in your presence. All we need is God's presence. You've been trying to do it on your own, but let His anointing cover you, and let His glory cover you. In your presence, I feel so much love, Heavenly Father, in your presence. So to be in God's presence all the time, even when things are not appearing to go right, stay in God's presence, because God takes that and turns it into a blessing. The fruit of our labor is doing the work that needs to be done. And the first part of it is mentally accepting and understanding that all the wisdom that you need is right there with you, for you are made in the image and the likeness of God. The fruit of our labor takes us from where we are to where we say we want to go. The fruit of our labor allows us to assist and serve in God's world, in God's planet. It allows us to be of service. It allows us to be a blessing and to receive a blessing. The fruit of our labor is in your hands. The fruit of your labor is in your consciousness. The fruit of your labor is not just shoveling and digging. The fruit of your labor can be sitting right where you are, thinking a wonderful thought and allowing that energy of that thought to go forth into our world and turn the world that we don't like to see around to be the world that God entrusted us with and that we can be proud of. the fruit of your labor is about you doing the work that God set you free to do. Let us use our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, our superconscious mind, and allow the three to be one. Amen. And so it is.